22nd of December, 1924.
This week on Battle of the Ports, we are taking a look at the 1993 sequel to last week's show. This is Alone in the Dark 2. It is Christmas of 1924, 3 months after Alone in the Dark. Edward Carnaby and his partner, Ted Stryker, are investigating the kidnapping of a young Grace Saunders. The trail of clues leads to an old mansion named Hell's Kitchen, the home of an infamous gangster boss and his gang. Edward decides to pick up the trail when he learns of Ted's disappearance in the mansion. Unfortunately, Edward soon finds out that Ted has been murdered. The original game's horror theme has been significantly de-emphasized in the sequel. While there is some voodoo black magic going on, the main villains are gangsters and pirates arming themselves with guns and shooting at the player. The player can pick up weapons on the way, with firearms such as the revolver equipped at the start of the game. Shotguns, Tommy guns and more, as well as weapons such as swords, are also available. The game world is larger than the original, including not only a mansion but also the surrounding gardens, as well as a pirate ship hidden in the caves beneath the house. However, unlike the first game, with the exception of the main house, its locations may only be explored in a strictly linear sequence, a pattern that would continue in later sequels. As you can see, Alone in the Dark 2 is significantly improved over the original. The game is much faster now and even looks nicer, with more textured polygons here and there. Sadly, the fighting mechanics are still rubbish. They are identical to the first game, besides giving you a few more attacks. It's the slow speed of the attacks which really do drag this game down. They were acceptable in the original, but come on, they should have been improved by the time this came out. Just like the original Alone in the Dark, the PC-98 version is very similar to the DOS original. This time we still get no CD audio, and of course that means no speech, which is a shame as the PC-98 is capable of sample playback. One very welcome addition to this port are the parameter settings. Basically, this can be used to make certain aspects easier or harder. So we have gain more bullets, make our attacks more powerful, have life lasting way longer, and so on. Or if you're a masochist, you can make everything 10 times harder.
2 days later.
Next up is the first of 3 console ports, the 3DO. What we have here is the basic PC version, but now with added loading times as the game loads from the slow 3DO disk drive. Also, many of the cutscenes are video files taken directly from the PC version of the game. It's easy to notice as well, as these parts move much smoother than the actual 3DO powered sections. The Saturn also got a port and actually goes one up on the 3DO version by texture mapping many of the polygonal objects and characters. It also runs faster and at a larger screen size. One thing that is different though is that this version uses pure FM synth audio and not the CD soundtrack found on the 3DO version or the PC CD-ROM version of the DOS edition. Sadly, even with the enhanced speed, graphics and window size, the game is still pretty poor to play. We do have an auto run button, but that does bugger all when the actual combat system is still stuck in the dark ages.
Morning, Shipper.
The last port of Alone in the Dark 2 we're going to take a look at is the PlayStation port. Now we'd expect this to be way better than the 3DO and Saturn. And yes, in looks, it is in many areas. The texture map characters have far better detail than the Saturn game, for example. Sadly, the game is awful to play. Not only do we still have the terrible control system, but now we have loading that makes the Saturn and 3DO versions look like streaming ROM cartridge systems. Yep, the loading on the PlayStation version of this game is painful. Very painful. Yet, despite this, they thought it would be a good idea to also stream CD audio rather than letting the hardware produce it like on the Saturn. Needless to say, this is the best looking but the worst playing version of Alone in the Dark 2. let's take a look at all those versions of Alone in the Dark 2 running side by side.